leaving your family to make a new family. So these are the two problems that this couple is facing, and I think the steps they should take is just leaving their family to become their own family and keeping their private affairs locked.
Privacy, yeah.
And one addition.
Never fight in front of your in-laws. Keep it between you and your spouse, whatever fight you're going through. So.
Yes. Privacy is very important. Please keep your secrets. Discuss all your family disputes in your bedroom. In your bedroom. Nobody all over the world has to know anything about you. Cover your disputes. Solve by your own way. Postpone it for days and days till you find the solution. If not, go to Abun and ask him, what can we do? What can we do? He will pray for you and he was going to tell you what's right, what's wrong. That's why try to keep your secrets. Don't speak about your daily life to anybody all over the world. Nobody. Even your children in the future. You must keep all your life in privacy, completely, without telling anybody. When you tell your mom, she will be biased. And she will not give you the right solution. Huh? All our parents, they stand with the children, even they are wrong. This is obstacle, and give excuses for their bad behavior. Please don't discuss your disputes with anybody at all. Pray, discuss it, postpone for 1 day or 2 days, and then if you don't have solution, go to Abuna, he can help you. He will be fair and tell you the right thing. Story number 7, here. Yes. A wife complained that her husband was very short-tempered. He always raised his voice and screamed in every discussion, saying my way or no way. She tried to keep away from him or to escape from home but for visitation or shopping. She felt that she did not love him anymore. She said that her parents forced her to marry him after a short period of engagement. She hanged with one of her relatives who was very compassionate. She gave herself excuses for that. She said that she was not mistaken and there was no sex. Complicated.
Okay, so it sounds like they rushed into the wedding after the short period of engagement, and that is probably the root of their problem. They didn't know each other. Yeah, he had anger issues that she wasn't aware of before going into the marriage, and if they had a longer engagement period, she would have been more aware of that and could have either broken the engagement or tried to change him, work it out with Abuna before they got married and this became a problem. What they can do to solve it, they can seek some counseling, figure out what the root of his anger is and try to solve that, and the rest of the marriage should follow behind that.
I want to tell you something. When there is a problem between you and your spouse, from the beginning, don't leave it for days and weeks or months. No, from the beginning. If the plant, you see the plant, not exactly upright, it is easy to change because it's still young, not big one. If you leave it, you can't change. That's why from the beginning, when you find your spouse doing something wrong, from the beginning, try to solve it as early as possible. Any problem which is in the beginning is solved. If you leave it, it will intensify it, and it's difficult to solve it. Intensify it. It causes many problems psychologically. That's why from the beginning, when you feel that you are not in good terms together, go to Abuna. He's going to help you. Our time we spend it in solving family problems. Unfortunately, most of the breeds, if ask them how much you spend in visitation, how much you save in visiting and solving family problems. Like 80% family problems. Because unfortunately, they were not educated how to live in harmony together from the first day. And when everything is accumulated, at a certain time it will explode. That's why from the beginning, you feel there's something wrong and you can't change, you have to tell Abuna or a counselor to help you. Number 8, a wife complained that her husband was jealous and got disappointed when she put modern dresses, and they spent hours fighting. She found that he was not comfortable when she spoke with any man. He showed unreasonable doubts or words of distrust when she came late from work due to traffic. He made many fights with her relatives if they said any admiration to her. Most of the relatives stopped visiting him then. She said that she was living in jail and her husband is a jailkeeper. She wanted to separate after 3 years marriage. Take your time.
Okay. So why it happened? Jealousy, and as I think Dr. Naveed was talking earlier about what kind, there's sort of jealousy levels, and there's one that is okay, and there's jealousy that is just uncontrollable, and it could be avoided by having trust in one another, and having a lot of conversation. And she could also try to avoid it by letting him kind of, having some compromise in what she kind of dresses. That doesn't mean to have full control of her, but like if he feels that what she's wearing is not okay, she could try to kind of get him to understand her point of view, or have him go shopping with her, and if he picks something and she wears it and he still doesn't feel comfortable, then at that point they should either go see a marriage counsel or go talk to Abuna.
From the beginning.
Yeah.
After a long time.
Yeah.
From the beginning. Many problems are solved from the beginning. Explosion happens when I keep everything as is for a long time. When I discuss this problem with the couple and try to solve the problem, I know that he has premarital affairs. And that's why he's jealous. Because he has relations with women for a long time. And that's why he's jealous. And he must be treated. He must have sessions with somebody to help him to forget the past. Because the past, he put it in front of him that he couldn't see that his wife is pure, live in purity. Usually those who have premarital affairs before marriage, they are jealous. Most of them, they are jealous. That's why from the beginning, not accumulated years by years, and you can't solve it. So now, a couple filed for divorce after 3 months of marriage. This was, for me, very difficult. They don't complain to anybody, even their parents, avoiding anybody to interfere. They said that they discovered that they were not compatible, and it was better to separate before having children. When their parents heard that bad news, they got sad, but the couple refused any trial. The parents told the priest lately, asking him to interfere to prevent that divorce.
To me, it seems like something is secret there, something they're hiding. Maybe they're shy to share with anybody. Doesn't make sense that they just discovered they were not compatible. So I don't know, maybe something sexual, something that's made them very shy to share it. They definitely need counseling and to be more open about what's going on.
When I visited this couple, I knew that the problem is the sexual relation. He has premature ejaculation, and so easy. I send them to sex therapists and solve the problem. But they filed for divorce because I don't want to ask Abuna, the priest, to help me. When you are drowning, you need somebody sincere hand to help you. And this is a priest. He's responsible from to God. Any problem from the beginning can be solved. And that's why when I discovered that this is the reason, I just sent the Saint Therapist, somebody Christian therapist in Pasadena, and they solved problem. They live, now they have 2 kids now in the church. Huh? That's why don't take a decision from when just small things happened. You can solve it before it will be, you will suffer later on. Number 10, a wife called the priest asking him to help her for separation from her unwise husband. The priest went to discover a problem that said the wife to separate. Although they were devout couples, confessed regularly, he was astonished because he knew that they loved each other during 20 years of marriage. And they were living in harmony. They did not complain from each other. When he visited them, the wife asked for separation because her husband took all their savings, $80,000, and bought some stocks, and when the market go down, he lost all the money. He admitted his mistakes, but she insisted for divorce. 20 years marriage, both working, they saved $80,000 for their kids, and just took it without telling her husband, her wife, and put in the stocks, and lost them completely.
Well, first of all, I believe that not because they weren't complaining that they were okay. I believe that they were kind of pretending to. And I'm sure that he has done, maybe he has done that before, but she wasn't complaining, trying to make this marriage going. But she got to a point that he doesn't listen to her, she doesn't listen to him, they don't trust each other anymore. Especially not because he lost the money, because he took the money without her knowing. The way to solve it is just to be more open and discuss the issues, or what do you want to do with your
Right.
husband or your wife, instead of just going and doing it, because you don't want to lose your partner, you don't want to lose your spouse, you don't want to lose your husband, just because you're thinking you're doing a wise thing, but it turns that you just lost the money, you lost the wife, you lost the kids, you lost your money. So it's better to share than to hide.
You see, actually, when I visit them, of course, the reason that he spent the money without asking his wife. And the problem, I solved it. I got all the credit cards from him completely, and I told his wife to take the responsibility of spending the money, the budget, and to give him $200 per month, pocket money. He agreed, and she took the responsibility of the budget of their home, and the problem was solved. Every month, give him $200, and she's responsible for it. This is the only way to stop the separation. That he did a big mistake. $80,000. They were saving that for their children when they go to college. He made it. This is a problem. Don't spend money without asking your spouse, especially the big lump of money. 11. The husband called the priest to solve this problem from his wife, spoiled their children. He discovered several times about that she covered their mistakes. He said that she should know that he was, as well as she, responsible of raising their children properly in equal foot. The wife defended herself and said that her husband treated their children harshly and cruelly. Their children loved her more because their dad did not show any compassion towards them. Being tough, the wife asked the priest for separation to keep her children from the wrath of the husband, raising them without psychological problem.
So I don't know how tough the husband is exactly. It depends. Sometimes a little tough in raising the kids is actually a good thing. And if she is hiding the mistakes from the dad, he can't really help, and he can't provide the support for his kids. But if he is truly tough on them and cruel to a point that is not acceptable, then I don't really see how he could have avoided that from the beginning. But if he is that cruel, then he probably was cruel with her as well. So the person who's cruel is not just for a specific person, it is a nature. So she could have probably seen this throughout the marriage before they have kids. She could have tried to work with him, either go getting some counseling or talking to a priest to like work through whatever is making him cruel in his treatment. That's probably how she could have avoided that before they have kids.
How to solve the problem?
It's how to solve the problem is to communicate, go like seek counseling if needed. I think regardless of how cruel he is, she can't really hide things from him,
Yeah.
because being open with each other is the only way you can fix things.
Yeah.
If he is that truly cruel or something, having her hiding for him is gonna only make it worse.
Yes, I told him to take anger management, to be quiet with the kids and don't make them lose their love toward him. 12. A husband had great fight with his wife because she made birth control secretly without his permission. She said she was the one who suffered pregnancy, delivery, and nursing in the first child. She added that life was not easy for comfortable, so that, nor comfortable for that, they both work hard in order to have comfortable their life. Thus she refused to have another child. The husband screamed and said that his wife was selfish. He wanted many children, referring to the psalm that was read in the wedding. He tried to explain to his wife the disadvantage of single son, but in vain.
Yeah, so I think that when it comes to having children, it needs to be a mutual agreement. And for the wife to sort of hide and secretly take birth control pills or whatever method was not a smart move. I mean, if she didn't want to have children, she should have just expressed, hey, this is really uncomfortable, we're working really hard to try and provide for one kid, imagine we have a second one, whatever, you know, she needs to talk to him. So, that would be
Yeah. How to
fix it.
solve the problem?
Yeah, so I think they need to sit down with an objective party, whether it's a priest or a counselor, and sort of tease out all the details and come to an agreement.
Yes. The problem that sometimes we don't discuss crucial things in our engagement period. I must know. I must discuss this with my future spouse. How many kids you want to have? And must agree about it. And don't leave it till we get married. From the beginning. How many kids you want to have? And when? And when? And must have together. One opinion. One opinion. 1, 2, 3 as well. But one opinion and start for this. And not leave it that we get mad and forget mad, and so on. Number two, it is easy to minimize spending to care of the other child. And instead of buying very expensive car, no, something moderate, and so on. Instead of taking dinner 5-6 times a month, minimize it, and so that I can save money to have a second children, because single children, when child is alone, is going to suffer loneliness and will be have psychological problem. That's why we must discuss it when you are now engaged. How much kids we have and when. Okay? 13, a wife wanted to have more than one child this other, and she and her husband decided before marriage. She stopped using birth control without telling her husband. When she got pregnant, her husband got mad. She came to the priest complaining that her husband wanted to make abortion. Otherwise, she had to leave the house and got separated. She said that her husband got mad not only because she did it without his permission, but also his income was not enough to raise 2 kids. Her mother was one who told her to have another child, and she obeyed her. Huh?
I think they didn't communicate together to get an agreement how many kids they want, or if they want to have to keep the kid or get the kid aborted from the first place. But also on the mother being interfering in their family, that's another problem that we said that shouldn't be happening, and it's a private life. So.
How to solve it?
Better communication agreement from the first place. And she shouldn't be having it.
For me, I tried to solve it differently. I went to the husband and told him it is a sin to make abortion. And then, what do you meant you to do? I want to come to visit your mother-in-law. No, please, I'll give you respect in front of her and solve the problem. I took him by force and went to visit his mother-in-law, and he didn't say hi to anybody. And you can see his face very, very sad and grieving. Then his mother-in-law said, "Is it right, Abuna, to make abortion?" I told her, of course, it's not right, but you are the cause. You are the one. And you are going to destroy the home of your daughter. You are the cause of this problem. You must not advise your daughter to do something without asking her husband about what he's going to do. And then, how can we solve the problem? Well, I told them, I'm going to solve the problem on one condition: to obey what I say. I told them, from now and then, no relations with your daughter, completely. No phone calls, no visitation. Abuna, how can I do this? No visitation, no phone calls. Take your wife and the child, go. And let them go. I found that I gave honor to the man, and he felt happy that I tried to solve the problem in a good way. Take your wife and your child and go to work with this lady. Abuna, how can I don't talk about to my daughter? He is going to shut your number in the phone, block it. Abuna, how can I do this? This is my daughter. You ignore my emotions? Oh, yes, because I want to solve the problem. And she cried, of course. The tears of the woman is very fast. And then After 4 months, he told her, because you obeyed, let us go and visit mom. And she attended the delivery. Huh? I must not ask my parents-in-law or my parents anything about my privacy. My privacy, please. Don't discuss anything with anybody except your spouse. Number 14, the last one, the wife asked the priest to get separation because he was not faithful to her and he cheated with another woman. She said that she found in his pocket 2 airline tickets to Vegas. He told her that he had a business conference there. When she asked about the second person who traveled with him, he told her he was one of his colleagues. She investigated the matter and she found that there was no conference. She asked the priest to help her. When the priest investigated the problem, the husband admitted his mistake. He justified himself because his wife refused to make love with him for more than 2 years after getting the 3rd child.
Choose one.
Huh.
Choose one. She is in a couple.
Laura, yes.
Abuna, I don't think her name is Laura. Is there a Laura that you're asking for, Abuna? Oh, Elawara.
Yeah.
Oh, that's you. Okay. This sounds like a problem. The main problem, obviously, is infidelity. A very big problem.
Yes, infidelity, yes.
And the idea that he's justifying himself for it. But also, there is a deeper issue, which is why are they not intimate for 2 years? And they don't know how to discuss it or solve it, or maybe they're in that cycle Abuna Bulis was discussing earlier, but they have no idea that they're in the cycle. They just left it as is, presumably did not try to fix it or did not get help trying to fix it, and just essentially went their separate ways while staying in a marriage or the concept of a marriage.
Yeah. Don't solve mistake by mistake. Don't solve a mistake by another mistake. This is number 1. Number 2, women must know that they are not, they have to give their bodies to their husbands. She had not control in her body. Her body is for husband, and vice versa. And when the husband feels that there is something wrong with the relation, he must discuss it with the priest to solve it without committing adultery. Before committing adultery, I can ask Abuna that my wife doesn't like to have sex with me. They solve the problem, but not solve it by an evil way. Evil way. That's why, please, try, when you have any problem in your life, please, from the beginning, discuss it with Abuna. He's going to help you. As I told you, when you are drowning, you can't save yourself. There must be honest hand to save you. Honest hand, not family or relative or friend. And this Abuna, because he's going to give account to his children. God is going to ask him about everybody. That's why Abuna is the one who is going to help you. Prayers, by his experience, by the guidance of the Holy Spirit, by many things. Don't solve your problem by own way or by anybody else. Thank you for your suggestion and see you later in your wedding. Before I leave, I want to ask you